Hey, another beautiful, amazing day to all people of the way. Welcome to another edition of Thriving Thursdays.
And for today, we've decided to speak about the power of fasting. And seeing as I'm on my 10th day of water fasting at the moment, we thought that it was the perfect opportunity to share with you all the benefits of fasting, not only for your body, but for your mind and your spirit as well.
Absolutely. And damn, baby girl, 10 days, you know, according to society's knowledge, according to society's recommendations, you should be like keeling over right now.
That's right.
10 days without food, right?
Without any food. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Amazing. Amazing. What I
Yeah.
found every time that I water fast, not only in regards to my body, but mentally, especially, it's a lot of clarity. There's a lot of energy that you gain through fasting, and you can't help but feel amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've certainly felt it in these past couple of days, creating content with you as well. You just, what fasting does, we've done a couple of fasts together as well.
Yeah.
What fasting does is, in the kind of inverse of what the ancient one from Doctor Strange says. If for any of those who have seen Doctor Strange, she says that she reorients the spirit in order to better heal the body. Well, fasting enables us to do the inverse. We are, through fasting, able to reorient the body in order to heal the spirit, and by extension, the mind as well. Our body, when we fast, is able to take a moment to stop everything else, cleanse and eliminate what isn't needed any longer. That includes fat we're holding on to. That includes food we still haven't fully processed because we're constantly taking in food. When we don't give the body time to fully process what it's taken in, we are actually going against ancestral wisdom. We're going against the body's intelligence, and the body has an intelligence that goes way beyond our mind. It is completely in alignment with our spirit. And when we take a moment to be still, like when we meditate, when we take a moment to be still, we're able to heal the body, and a lot of different processes kick in that will give us even more clarity, not only mentally, but spiritually. You'll feel it as you undergo this process. And it's the most incredible thing. We are literally reorienting and bringing the body back into harmony when we allow the body to cleanse itself, in order to access even more wisdom through our spirit. And we'd like to roll a clip really quickly by Dr. Pradeep. He is someone in the medical industry that is basically shedding light and raising awareness surrounding the many benefits that fasting provides us with. And a couple of years back, he gave a conference where he expands upon the power of fasting and the benefits that we can obtain, and why fasting should be a part of modern medicine today. But let's roll that clip and see what he's got to say.
So a lot of our behavior is incongruent to our physiology. Our brain has interfered, our mind has interfered with our body, and we stopped listening to our body. Why did we stop listening to the body? Because you were told to stop listening to your body. By who were you told? The press, the media, people around you, maybe your parents, maybe your friends, that you got to eat 5 times a day. 5 times a day, maybe 6 times a day you got to eat. This knowledge is totally false. You don't have to eat 6 times a day. You don't need to have that calorie input all the time. This is not right. Oh, breakfast is the best and most important meal of the day. It's not. It's not. The most nutritious meal of the day is the meal that you have. That's it. End of story. But if you want to create a special breakfast meal, you're going to develop a cereal. and you're going to say, this is special breakfast food. Almost sounds like dog food, right? Create this food for the dogs. Now you got a special food for breakfast. You don't need a special breakfast food, especially one that's full of calories and sugar and is totally processed completely. So really, there have been a lot of myths about this. So going back in history, so first of all, I want to tell you that you are all very old, all of you, extremely old. And how old are you really? Well, you're about 2.5 million years old. That's pretty old. And about 12,000 years ago, you changed and you started going into agriculture. So until then, you were a Paleolithic being where you ate mostly meat, some vegetables that you found, and drank lots of water. And when you were a Paleolithic being, none of you were such fantastic hunters that you could hunt and eat and kill every 3 hours. So for all those years, millions of years, right? You generated a genetics. That genetics is what you still have now because it was evolved over 2.5 million years. So in the last 12,000 years, you became more intelligent and started agriculture. So now your food changed. So when you went to agriculture, did your genetics keep up with your 2.5 million years of genetic change? Hardly. Because it takes another 2.5 million years to develop a new genetic package. You did not change genetically as your diet changed, but you continued to be an agricultural society because the population grew and it was harder and harder. So agriculture was easier and easier. And then, in the last 200 years, you changed your diet again. Now you are industrialized. And now you start eating processed foods. Vegetable seed oils. I told you about that before in a previous lecture. Totally processed. You need massive factories to produce vegetable seed oils. It is so processed. And yet now, we consume that like it's going out of style. All of you consume vegetable seed oils, whether you like it or not, because it's in all processed foods. And yet that food, if you look at your entire evolution as 24 hours, that food only came to you in the last 10 milliseconds. How do you expect your body to respond genetically and hormonally to that food that you only just introduced to your genetics? So before you put anything new in your mouth, you got to decide that, is this in keeping with my genetics? So really, this is very thought-provoking. Even agricultural products is very thought-provoking. Agricultural products are fine, but what did we do with them? In the year 1880, we invented the steel mill, and we made the flour. And when we made flour, we changed the glycemic index of the food completely. Completely. And that was a study that I talked to you all about before also. So we've changed as we've moved along. So our diets have completely changed. The Paleolithic being ate maybe once a day. And he ate during the daytime, by the way. Because if he tried to eat at nighttime with the carcasses outside, the hyenas or some other animal will want to share that with you. Probably make you their meal as well. So at nighttime, you have to crawl into your cage. Into your cave. You got to crawl into your cave and stay there. And don't come out to drink water either. But no, we take the bottled water with us to bed. So our body is made to fast and is made to feast. And I will convince you tonight that you should be fasting and feasting as well. Because if there was no food around, and if your sugar just went down, 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 your energy level went down, 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 you'll be dead in 24 hours because you're going to your cave and you'll just crawl in there and you're just going to get terrible because nature doesn't give you any way to come back. Or there's been no food for 24 hours. I'm just going to crawl here. I have no energy. I have no nothing. I'm just going to crawl and die. But no, that does not happen to you. Fasting doesn't kill people. And in fact, I ask you to fast all the time and I ask you to come for a stress test. Well, you don't come on the stress test and die. We are used to fasting, and we do it. And when you're sick, you fast, don't you? When you have the flu, you don't eat. When your pets are sick, they don't eat. You don't see your dog running and eating his food when he's sick. He stays in the corner and he does not eat. There's a wisdom in that, and that wisdom is the physiology. Because the physiology of the body is saying that, hey, look, eating is dangerous. Eating takes up a lot of energy. Eating takes up, if you put in about 100 calories of food into your body, it takes about 60 to 70 calories of your body to digest that food, and then you get a little excess. So eating is an energy-consuming activity. But most of us don't think of it like that. You just think that all that eating is going to go right in and do me all that good. A lot of energy that goes into it. Eating is dangerous. It's true. Eating is dangerous. So, once in a while, when you don't eat, nature has put into you a biochemistry. So let's just dive right into that biochemistry a little bit.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is such a powerful talk by Dr. Jamnadas. He, in posting that video and in seeing the positive feedback that millions of people now that have watched that video have given to the things that Dr. Jamnadas mentions, it's just evidence that our modern day medical system has failed us. And it's because we're not seeing the actual healing and the deep yeah, the deep healing that should come from those who care for us, those who promise to heal us when we're sick, those who promise to take care of us when we are ill, and although we have a lot of modern day technology today to give us more accurate information and data when it comes to our physical state and our health, we have a lot of devices that can help us determine where we're at in terms of our health. But if we don't combine that modern day technology and the coming future technology with the ancestral wisdom of the past, if we don't merge those two, we cannot achieve optimal health. If we don't know where we come from, if we don't know what it is that we're meant to be eating, like the doctor mentioned, in alignment with our genetics, with our DNA, our physiology, the way that our body has grown to evolve to the state that it is today. If we don't understand those things, we can't possibly care for ourselves as best as we could. And
That's
it's
right.
just, yeah, and it's just fascinating to me. I initially, when it comes to my first experience fasting, coming to know about fasting, I was just in my spiritual journey, I was at the point where I started asking questions surrounding my health, right? That's just a natural part of it. How can I better take care of my health? How can I better take care of myself to be at the optimal state when it comes to my energy? And I looked into alternative medicine. I looked into holistic medicine. And naturally, I came across the topic of fasting. And it blew my mind how the human body is capable of going without food for such a long period of time. I remember learning about the parable or the example of Jesus, that fasted for 40 days plus. He went 40 days without food, without water, and I was just like, how the hell is that possible? And when today I'm taught that, in 3 days, if I don't drink or eat, I'm going to die. Like, how does that make sense? So I was blown away by the reality that we literally can do things like that. When our body is in a certain state or in a certain position to do that, we are literally capable of doing that. We're capable of doing so many things. And we only discover that when we dive back into our ancestral wisdom and we reconnect with the natural order of things. We do have the ability to do that. We can heal ourselves. And the doctor expands upon many other facets of fasting. When we go without food, when we go without water, because there are different levels of fasting, different kinds of fasting. There's what you would call dry fasting and water fasting. There's information on YouTube that expands upon this and how you can do this effectively and safely. When you allow the body to do its work, when you allow it to just take a moment and heal, right? You're able to reverse even the most severe kinds of illnesses. A lot of people have found simply through fasting the ability to heal cancers, the ability to heal brain damage. It's incredible the things that the body is capable of doing in order to heal itself. And baby girl, yeah.
Now, I was going to say, when we give our body that rest from working on all this food all the time, it's able to heal itself. Through fasting, we regenerate so many cells in our body. We regenerate new brain cells in our brain. And so, yeah, absolutely. There's just so much healing that comes from it.
Yeah. And I mean, what was your experience when you began fasting? Like, how did you feel initially at the prospect of fasting?
I remember when
until you saw the benefits, of course.
Absolutely. When you first told me about fasting, I remember coming, from having no knowledge about fasting, and I was just like, are you sure? Are you for real? Like, this is actually good for us.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I'm for real.
Yeah, of course, so I looked into it further as well, and then started fasting myself also. And now this is just a part of our lifestyle, isn't it? You know, fasting is something that we do
as it's
periodically.
meant to be, as it's meant to be.
It is meant to be. That's right. And for me, like I've just noticed so many good benefits from it, you know, from reduction of inflammation and bloating within the body, you know, to the skin being clearer, to, of course, weight reduction as well. And yeah, the mental clarity, very much mental clarity, that tuning in with your spirit as well is such a huge thing, you know, because as with meditating, like you mentioned previously, when we also fast, it's kind of getting into a meditative state within our body. And so we are able to connect with our spirit a lot easier, I feel. And that boost of energy that you get through fasting, it just really makes you just very clear and very determined, I feel, as well, in wanting to pursue the things that you are, you know, trying to achieve, the things that you were trying to create. It just brings about this feel that you are powerful, right?
This
and
huntress, it brings out the huntress in you.
It does.
You know, you want to get after it. That is the instinct to go after it, which is what we would have done otherwise a few hundred years back. You know, that need to get after it, to provide for your family, that all of that instinctual wisdom kicks in, and creativity for how it is that you want to accomplish your goals kicks in as well. You know,
it does.
That's all of that ancestral wisdom that begins to flow through you when you reorient the body to better heal the spirit. Meditation reorients the mind to better heal the spirit, and fasting reorients the body, along with other things, to better heal the spirit as well. And we'll achieve optimal health when we do those things. And it's just such an incredible thing that we've discovered, the knowledge and the deep wisdom contained within fasting. We wanted to share with you guys today. And in closing, we are obviously not medical professionals. You should check with your physician before starting a fasting protocol. Look into it. Let your intuition and the proper knowledge guide you to make this decision, and you'll see, you know, the different accounts of those who have undergone fasting, even with severe medical conditions, the experiences that they share. You know, Google and YouTube are your best friends. They'll show you experiences of those who, even with severe conditions, were able to heal, not only heal their physical and medical conditions, but achieve even more optimal health than they would have otherwise through traditional means. So this may be something that you want to look into, you know, and either way, you know, if you feel you have an average level of health, this will supercharge your health as well. And your energy, your life force energy, will be more powerful, more potent. Your level of creativity and just the general drive that you have to get after it in life will be heightened and increased as well. So we'll post the link. Yeah, go ahead, baby.
We will post the link in the description so that you can watch that video in full. But I also just wanted to mention, you know, when you do begin with fasting, so if you are in a healthy state and you are just wanting to experience this cleanse for yourself, start slow if you've never done it before. You know, begin with 24 hours. And then as you become more experienced, you can then increase it. So for myself, I am on my 10th day right now. The max I have done so far is 2 weeks. So I'm thinking this time to even extend it to 3 weeks, because I haven't gone that far. But always listen to your body. You know, your body, it knows what it wants. So if you feel like you can continue, if you feel like you want to continue, then do it. If you get to a point where you feel like, oh, you know, like I feel like I've done too much now, make sure you stop. Listen, always listen to your body. And remember that within the first 1 to 2 days, depending on whether you've ever fasted before or not. If you haven't fasted, you of course will have a big buildup of toxins within the body. And those first couple of days is just purging of those toxins. So
Yeah.
you will experience headaches. You know, you will experience stomach aches. You will think you're hungry, but you're not. You know, you'll get all the stomach aches and the grumbles, and you'll be like, oh, I'm dying. But you're not. Your body is literally just purging all these toxins, and you need a rest. For me,
Yeah.
I found in those moments where I feel like, oh, it's getting a bit much, I'm not feeling very well, I just lie down, I sleep, and surely enough, within 2 to 3 hours, once I wake up, I feel fantastic already after
Yeah.
that first big bulk of cleansing. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's literally the point where the body begins to transition from getting its energy from external sources and using what's already in your body. We have the doctor expands upon all these things, right? But we have way more minerals, vitamins, proteins, fibers, and all of that's just stored, waiting to be used. We have those in abundance. If you're worried, like, where do I get my minerals? Where do I get my proteins or my vitamins? You have all of that inside you, just waiting to be burned, waiting to be utilized. And the body will literally just start discarding what it doesn't need. And that naturally is going to help with your physique, your physiology. It's going to help with all of that, So yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. It's just part of the process. Your body is beginning to regulate and bring itself into harmony once again. And that's where all that energy is going to come from. And it'll just be easy for you to eat once a day. If you've never done that before and you wonder how that's possible, your body's just able to make better use of what you give it. I eat once a day naturally, so does Samantha. So naturally, you're already in a state of intermittent fasting all the time. That's how you're able to maintain your body's physique, even if you're not exercising per se. Right now, I'm not exercising, but I'm able to maintain my body's muscle mass, my body's physical state, right? Because I have this eating pattern. Your eating pattern does a lot for your health and your physique as well. So yeah, guys, it is such an incredible thing to take advantage and benefit from. And in the long run, it's just going to do wonders for our health. And more people deserve to learn about this technique that really should be a way of life. Now we're coming. Yeah, go ahead.
We're never taught what fasting is.
We're never taught. We aren't. Not to our benefit. They don't make any money, if we don't eat and we don't drink. They're saying they don't make any money if we don't take their medicines and their prescriptions. If we can heal ourselves through fasting. So, hey, it is what it is. They failed us. They put their own priorities ahead of our health. And so humanity's beginning to wake up to these kinds of things. And it's needed now more than ever. So, yeah, definitely continue to look into fasting, expand your knowledge, your understanding, and your comfort with fasting for yourself. And you'll see how worthwhile it is. So, yeah, without further ado, we appreciate you all tuning into another edition of Thriving Thursdays. And until next time, take care, and we'll talk with you soon.